Good afternoon. Hope you're having a great day. You know, today's a big day for the Jewish world, as all of our eyes are in New York City. Will the mayor of the most populous city of Jews in America, the most populous city of Jews anywhere outside of Israel, be a person who spews anti-Semitism and hate towards Israel and the Jewish people? And you know, many of you might know, but I spent my first nearly 25 years of my life, which is half of my life so far, growing up in New York City. And although I live in Boston for quite a while, I love New York City. And besides that, I'm a Jew, and a Jew sees the world view, and we're all worried. But I wanted to share with you a Torah thought on this week's portion as we consider this, as we consider the shocking interview that Tucker Carlson had with Nick Fuentes, and we see all the Groypers and all the Hitler celebrators on the right coming together, and we wonder what's going to be. And I want to share with you from this week's Torah portion where we read about the story of Abraham. And God tells Abraham to have her circumcision at the end of last week's Torah portion, which Abraham does. And the beginning of this week's Torah portion opens up, God appeared to Abraham, and he was in the plains of Maor. Of Mamre, excuse me. And the rabbis asked, why does the Torah tell us that he was in the plains of Mamre? What's the significance of where he was when God came to visit him? And the rabbis had answered that when God told Abraham to have the circumcision, he went to consult with Mamre, who was an elder of the generation. And Mamre encouraged him to do it. And therefore, God gives credit to where he was then to recognize Mamre's activism and Mamre's involvement here. And therefore, God says exactly where he was. But of course, all the commentaries ask a major question. I don't understand. Abraham, the man who was ready to confront the whole world and go against the whole world because of his faith in Almighty God and brought monotheism to the world, and God tells him to have a circumcision, and he has to have a conversation with Mamre. He has to go seek advice from someone to say, should I do it or should I not? What's going on here? Abraham should have just done what God said. Why did he need Mamre? And there's many opinions on this. Well, one beautiful opinion is that says like this, that you see, Abraham had no question. The moment God told him to have a circumcision, he was going to do it. No questions asked, no ifs, buts, and ands. God told him to do something. That's what he was going to do. What Abraham was unsure was, should he do it with publicity? Should he let everyone know? Should he make a public stink about it? Or should he do it quietly? He thought, maybe, you know what? A lot of people will laugh at me. They'll ridicule me. They'll speak negatively about me. Maybe I should just do it quietly because God told me to do it. But he never told me to do it in a public way. And that's it. So he went to consult with Mamre how he should do it. Should he do it in an open, public way? In a way that's broadcasted? Or in a quiet way? And Mamre said, what are you kidding me? God told you to do it. Do it. Do it proudly. Do it loudly. And do it that everyone should know. Don't be worried about the naysayers or about those that will ridicule you. And that's what Abraham does. And that's why God gives credit to Mamre in the portion, because Mamre gave Abraham the courage to stand tall and proud as a Jew. This is Rabbi Jonathan Sachs always used to say, the world loves a Jew who's proud of who he is. When we're scared and we're embarrassed and we're worried who we are, what's going to be, and the world notices that. But when a Jew comes with strength of character, conviction, and faith, and there's nothing that can stand in the way. You know, when the last 20 hostages came out, one of the hostages that came out was Bar Cooperstein. And Bar Cooperstein's mother repeats the story that when all the demonstrations were happening in Israel to let the hostages go, she didn't go to any public demonstrations because she wanted to put pressure that her son should be released. But she didn't want to get into politics and the divide of Israel, so she didn't go to any. One day she gets a phone call. She notices something's weird. She picks up in the silence, and then she hears the person asks if it's her, and she says yes. the person says that this is the Hamas people who are with your son right now. And he says to her, do you want to see your son again? She of course says, yeah. And he says, we notice that you never go to any demonstrations to criticize the government and to demand that your son be freed and released. And if you ever want to see your son again, you better go to these demonstrations and criticize the government and come out against them. And I'm not sure what took her at that moment, but she said to the guy in Hebrew, she said, "Haben sheli b'yodayim shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu." My son is in the hands of God. And then she looks at this, she doesn't look at him, but she says to this Hamas guy himself, she says, not only is my son in the hands of God, but ata b'yodayim shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You, Hamas member, are also in the hands of God. Who do you think you are, so to speak? And suddenly they're silent. The Hamas member turns to her. The guy says to her on the phone, Kol hakavod giveret. Wow, all the credit to you, woman, for having that courage to say that. And he hangs up. And then they went and they made these bracelets. And the bracelets they made were bracelets that said, Ta b'yadayim shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You are in the hands of God. And that was the slogan they used. And they still give it out now after Bar Cooperstein got released. I think the message is profound. You look at New York. You say, what's going to happen? Are we going to have a mayor who's an anti-Semite, who's a bigot, who's a socialist, who's a communist, who wants to destroy one of the greatest cities in the world? What's going to be on the right? Are we going to have people like Tucker Carlson or Nick Fuentes? People who are so evil, who are so corrupt? Are they going to be the leaders? Are we going to be homeless without anywhere to turn? And the answer is like this. We have to do whatever we could do to make an effort that Mamdani's not the mayor, to make an effort that Fuentes and Carlson and all their ilks and all the people like them have no power in America on our sideline. But ultimately, beyond that, we also have to know that Akol b'yadayim shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I'm in the hands of Almighty God, you're in the hands of Almighty God, New York City's in the hands of Almighty God, and so is everyone else. And when you have that deep, not just emunah, but bitachon, which is a strong faith that permeates you, it lets you live in a calm, surreal place where you're protected by the enveloping love of Almighty God. And may we hear good news, we will hear good news, but we have to be strong, like Mamre told Abraham, carry our Judaism on our sleeves. Don't hide your circumcision, don't hide your Jewishness, don't hide who you are, celebrate it, embrace it, love it, because that's what the world will respect, and that's what will bring blessings to all of us. God bless you, have a great day.